Yeah, it was neat for me as a mom. She was had to be
For
4 or 5 years old before school, so it was preschool. And we were in Germany in pastorate, and so we'd gotten our son off to school, and it was just Renee and I at home, and I had my time along with after I got Dave and Renee off, and we have a cuckoo clock, and someone had given us, and so I would tell Renee, I'm gonna have my time with Jesus, and between that time and the next time the cuckoo bird comes out and cuckoos, then you can go play or whatever, but not to disturb, just what that we had talked about earlier. So I was sitting there one day and I was having my time with the Lord, and all of a sudden I saw Renee sitting over in the corner. She had her little book and it was upside down, and she was having her time alone. And so it's so neat just to picture that our children do and others do. What we do speaks so much louder sometimes than what I say, for the positive or the negative. So that was sweet. And growing up, Renee was probably one of the most consistent ones in our family with her time with the Lord. Not because of me, but because she saw the necessity.
And the memories that we talked about, it's been amazing to me as I mentioned that kind of thing about memories, and we talk about memories, how many people have said they remember their parents praying a place, and it wasn't always a good, and the one thing I have of a grandmother was she had a place under the trees. And so having that place, there's nothing.
But it's kind of like you said, we're in a traveling ministry. And my husband, he's an evangelist. And we travel internationally. So I'm like Abby. I don't always have that closet I can go to. And there's times when it's, you have to make that choice to say, no matter where I am, whether it's hunting, whether it's wherever, that I'm going to make that choice. And I don't always do that. I mean, even known him 39 years, and yet still there's a choice I have to make, the sovereignty of God, choosing to say, I'm going to meet with you as my Father today, and making that choice no matter where we are to meet with him.
The principle is there needs to be a place and there needs to be a time. That's the principle.
Right.
But wide variety.
Exactly.
That's right.
How that is expressed for the individual. Some folks don't, for them to try to have a quiet time and really get anywhere at 6 o'clock in the morning is just going to be a total waste of time. They're more alert at 11 o'clock or some p.m., and then the places have to be diverse.
Yep.
Well, what have you discovered in?
Well, we have many places.
Yeah,
Because we're traveling all over the world. So I mean,
He loves to go outside, and I love nature, but I love just sitting in my rocking chair in my room playing my music. So I mean,
if I get put in prison for preaching the gospel, y'all really need to pray for me because I like to be outdoors. I just really enjoy getting out and walking. I like to walk and pray. I have a little place that I go. Sometimes what I do is I'll go get my cup of coffee, and sometimes there's a little shopping mall, and of course it's not open early in the morning, and I'll just walk around there and talk to God because there's nobody around. Sometimes I have a place where it's under a clump of trees, and there's no one early in the morning there, and I go and I spend time there. Sometimes when I'm on planes and the airplane's full and everything, I just take my cover and I pull it over my head and say, "Oh God, I need you here," and I just leave the cover over my head and I meet with the Lord right there. So it doesn't have to be. I mean,
it's like you said, it's not in a box.
Yeah, and that the key is saying, okay, I need to find a place where I can just get the clutter and all the stuff out and just meet with you, Lord. And boy, I'll tell you what, it's hard. I think one of the reasons, David, I had this as a chapter, is if you don't work at that, it ain't going to happen. Because I mean, everything in the world is going to steal and rob you of that, and so it needs, it's something you've just got to determine. This is going to be a part of my life. I think it was last week that I shared about how all this vision for this came, and the Lord told me to take 3 hours a day for 7 days to be alone with him. Well, understanding I'm a mover, I mean, I don't let a lot of grass grow under my feet, and so I'm 3 hours in a day was not easy, and that was not something I could sustain over a lifetime. I knew that the 7 days I got to do this, but one of the things that it caused me to do was to take a look at my schedule. And when I took a look at my schedule, I saw where I was saying, "Oh, I don't have time," that there was time. I just had to rearrange the time. And you talk about the evening. One of the things I discovered was, hey, there's about 2 hours of news in the evenings that I watch that I don't need to watch. And so I would spend what I would do is take half that 3 hours for those 7 days in the morning and half in the evening, and meet with the Lord. But it caused me, and I think that's something we have to do, because time, we got a place, but time, all we have in life, I mean, the most valuable thing we have in life is our time. 24 hours in one day. You've got it, I've got it, and we're going to spend it. And we need to look at how we're spending that time. And I think that probably all of us would find that there's time that's wasted. Now, I'm a really busy guy, and I was able for 7 days to find 3 hours. Now, I don't do that today. I'll just be honest. I'm still not doing 3 hours, but I do know that there's time that I have. Sometimes what I do is I take my lunch break. And on my lunch break, I have a place that I go not far from the office here, and I go and I just walk and pray during my lunch break. If I haven't had adequate time in the morning, that I feel like I just need more time, then I take my lunch break and do that.
That was George Mueller's testimony, that he
I didn't know that.
That he walked and he prayed. He wasn't just kneeling down, but he would. And a major development for him was when he began to take the Scripture. He would carry a New Testament, and he would walk and he would read and he would pray. He was being fed as he was speaking, and he said that was speaking to the Lord as he had been informed and taught, instructed by the Word. He said that his ability to believe the Lord was strengthened greatly when he added to the time set to pray, the receiving of the Word, and he would walk around his area there around his house and in the mornings, and then I think his testimony was at night he would come in and read large portions of Scripture, to still be with the Lord and in that way. I think there are a couple of things about this. One is a mom with children, and you're 24/7. And little ones underfoot, not as they get older, but how in the world, does a mom do that? And is it ever permissible to just sleep? You're worn out and you just you're fighting it to stay awake. How does grace get mixed in with with all of this? The discipline, very important. It's the principle, I think, more than the specific pattern. What could y'all say to, that would be life building, to moms, young moms that